Hello, good morning. It's Sunday morning here in Encinitas, California. So right behind me is the ocean. I've been at this really cool business mastermind and retreat for the last several days. And this is the house we've been staying at. And I found environment is so huge. So when you're going to do something and create transformation and do some deep healing, and I found this even from the very beginning of when I really got deep into healing and transformation work, being in a beautiful environment is so key because it creates an internal safety that allows you to go really deep. And what I've also found is it creates an association that really, hi Kelly, good morning, that really knowing yourself and really getting, hi Gina, really knowing, I'm going to really enjoy doing this video while you're on here. That really getting to know yourself and going deep can also be associated with luxury and with support. And so that's always been kind of a driving force for me in my journey, has been like, hi Juan, how are you? Has been processing in luxury whenever possible. Doing deep processing and doing deep work in beauty and in luxury whenever possible, so you can rewire your association with what it means to really know yourself, and you can also feel so deeply rooted and safe and comfortable that you can go all the way. So I have been, underline bold letters, processing in luxury for the last several days. And so I wanted to talk about what you'll see the title of this is, which is Imposter Syndrome, aka in my case, feeling like the broke hippie that somehow snuck in. So when we're on our destiny and when we're moving forward, we're going to be, hi Amber, we're going to be, moving into different levels of opportunities, different levels of people we're around. Hey Kim, different experiences that may feel surreal. And I've seen this a lot even for my own clients. And this is the value, and this is why it's a necessity. If you're doing something in your life, or you want to make a big change, you want to experience a big transformation, or you have a really big goal in your life, it's incredibly crucial to have some sort of mentorship or support or community that can see that potential for you and with you and hold it while the rest of you really catches up to the fact that, like, yeah, this is the truth, this is your destiny. And so what will often happen along that road is that you will have an experience that is actually well known and is called imposter syndrome, where you feel like, wait a minute, this isn't real, I can't do this, like this isn't who I am, this is not what people from my family get to do, I'm not here for, I'm not in the big leagues. Hi Hina. And it's like incredibly natural, and it's absolutely part of the process. And it's part of the process between knowing you're here for something, having desires that are associated with that purpose, and then the bridge between actually manifesting whatever that is and then really letting yourself have it. So one of the ways we don't really let ourselves have it is by acting like, I don't know how I got here, but like I'm probably not someone who should get to have this. So I've noticed that for myself, that for a lot of years, and I've talked about this a lot, for a lot of years, the type of things I'm interested in, I was kind of told are not things that will be financially successful, are not things where I could really create a traditionally successful life doing them or having them or moving forward with them. And yet, interestingly enough, like the immediate thing that happened for me after I graduated from college is I started a coaching practice and a healing practice, and then I got involved with like what I was told at the time by some mentors were, hey, you're never going to really make money doing this, so here's a network marketing company that has some good values, and you'll make all this money doing that, and then you'll be able to do your real work that Spirit has you here to do. And weirdly enough, like Donald Trump got involved, and so he was there, so I like met Donald Trump. So it's this whole other weird time that was the beginning of my career. Hey Sarah. And so right away I was thrust into this idea of like, you're here to make a lot of money. So right away I was getting to have this opportunity of being around people where the goal was to create a 7-figure income from this company, and you're here to do this work with Spirit, and like they can't really come together. They're going to kind of be two separate things. So I that company didn't work out. Hi, Kelly. And then I think it also created some shame for me of like, who do you think you are that you tried to have that? And so I kind of went back into my normal thing of knowing like I'm here to do this big thing. And I think because of the impact it's going to have, there's going to be money associated with it, but I don't really know. And so I kind of just like plodded along that way for a long time. Hey, Catherine, having a lot of like school debt and having the desire to do all these things and not really letting myself have them and do them, and working 2 jobs and acting like I was really confused with money. And so I've had to do like really what changed things for me. Hello, Lauren. Good morning. What changed things for me was just diving deep into like really getting some support around understanding business and understanding money and understanding the money story I'd come in with, and also being around people who were like, yeah, that thing you do, this thing you do where you hold the space and you have soul board meetings and you channel the energy and you impact people. Hey, Daryl, what's up? Yeah, that could actually be a financially viable thing where you support yourself. And I'm going to hold that space for you. And so I was suddenly in these environments and around these people where like it became not so crazy, where you didn't have to like get through the back door to do your great work. You could do your work and support yourself and help the planet doing it. So, you know, I did more and more stuff like that. It turns out I really love business and I have a real passion for it, right? I'm like a real entrepreneur in addition to being a healer. So, and eventually it worked out, right? And then I get to like do what I want to do. And there's more I could talk about, which is why I'm going to do a webinar called Having It, which is not just, oh, how do I have a life where I get to be myself and make money and all of that? Because you can create that, and you can also create not having it while you've manifested it. And so I really want to talk about that. That's a topic. I think we hear a lot about how to do it and how to manifest it. I don't think we really hear about how to actually have it once you've manifested it. So one of the ways we keep ourselves apart is like we'll create it, and we'll still act like it's very surreal, or how did we get here? And so the more successful I've become, the more I just am like, and I moved to the West Coast because I knew to follow where the work needs to go. There was people I needed to meet, there were situations and opportunities that needed to happen, and they were going to happen here. And that's what's been happening. And I've found myself around like incredibly powerful, successful people in the traditional sense, and also in the spiritual sense, and also in the relationship sense. Like whatever way you want to think about very powerful and successful, I'm around these people. And it means that I've suddenly been in opportunities where I'm around people who are like, you know, have multiple 7-figure businesses, and I'm at the same mastermind or retreat as them. And they're people or I'm at the same event as them. And they're people where it's like, they're so well known that of course I've heard of what they do, or there's a lot of like very successful people where you don't even know that how many things they're actually involved in or what they do, and they kind of run in these different circles, and I'm around both of them. And what I've really had to confront is the imposter syndrome, because for so long I identified as kind of like this zany business hippie that kind of didn't have money, but everyone knew what I was doing was really powerful, and that was a comfortable spot for me, and that allowed me to feel safe holding the sort of power and magnetism that I did, because it just felt like it would be too much if I also had material success. That would just be too much. I'm not worthy of that. And so it's been interesting because I'm in these circles now, and there's a part of me that keeps wanting to act like, what are you doing here? Like, how did you get in? You're the broke hippie that somehow snuck into this. How did you get here? And the reflection for me has just been like, you belong here. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. Your insights are really valuable. The experiences I go through, turns out like this is actually just, and whatever you're going through personally, it just turns out like, yeah, really successful people have the imposter thing. Really successful people are trying to figure out how to balance everything. Really successful people are wondering, was this the last time I did something like this, and now it's all going downhill? Am I really worthy? Like, it just turns out that there's very little difference between where you are now and what it looks like to really be on the big leagues, whatever that looks like to you, whether you think of that in financial terms, business terms, visibility terms, relationship terms, I think all of them, right? Like, it's not real success if you're not happy and truly loving yourself, and also truly being a beacon and a light for other people and for your purpose, right? So when you see that, you just realize, like, everyone feels that way, and I keep having this experience where I want to be like here, and I can't deny that I really relate to the people that are here, and I can't deny that you know, these people that I'm really admiring are like, yeah, I see you, I get what you're doing, like, it's good you're here, and what you're contributing to this experience or this event or this conversation or to the world is really valuable. In that experience of really... All right, we're back. I don't know, it was telling me it wasn't working. So as I was saying, I've been in the experience of confronting that, and I watch that every one of my clients go through that experience of confronting that. And so they'll think, like, I don't really have these abilities that I see the other people who are in this group have, or I don't really have, I couldn't be on that, you know, event. I couldn't offer these sort of services. I couldn't be with that sort of person. I couldn't, like, be visible and post videos and, like, do these sort of things. Hey, what's up, Shelby? Like, that's, other people can do that. Maybe you can do that. Maybe other people who work with you, maybe these people can do that. I can't do that. And then every single time they come to, like, one of the retreats, or they come to an event, or they post the video, or they do the talk, or they go out with the guy, and they just realize, like, I belong here. I belong here. Like, I completely resonate with these people, or the video I posted or the information I shared was completely welcomed and resonated with people, or like, oh my God, I can make money being a healer, right? Like, I can do this. Like, so I just realized, like, that's the most important thing I think I do in my work, is just reflect. Or I'm not someone, ooh, this is a good one too, because even if you don't care about, or even if it's not yet important to you, you know, like the success thing, I work with a lot of people around really cultivating true, authentic success while really being themselves. So I'm thinking about that a lot. But sometimes even people just be doing a session with me, or come to an event where they're going to do a soul board meeting, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to be someone who has, like, a powerful story, or like, no, I don't know, there's not going to be really, and it's just like they end up having the most powerful, incredible magic all around them, and energy that's all around them. So I just wanted to share those concepts and those ideas, that there is a thing called imposter syndrome, and as you continue to up level, it's going to activate really strongly, and you're going to think that you don't belong there, or other people can do it but not you, or even feel shame or guilt for wanting what you want, and you're going to look for ways that validates that you don't belong here, or it's not right, and your brain is going to look for reasons to justify how, yeah, you're just the broke hippie that somehow snuck in to this, and people are going to find out. And the only way to really transcend it, in my experience, is first of all, just understand that that's part of what happens. That's part of this whole process. And it's funny, you can have, like, I don't even know if it's write down all the reasons why that's not true. Hey, Liz, because you can have those right in front of you and still play this game with yourself. So I think the first thing is just understand that's absolutely a part of the process. Just the way there's certain things that happen when you change frequency. There's things that happen when you receive something you've wanted a long time. There's things that happen when you finally manifest things. It's a lot emotionally, physically, it's on your nervous system. That's why I'm going to do a webinar about it. I really feel like it's not discussed a lot. And sometimes I wonder if it's because the people discussing it haven't actually let themselves have it yet. Because there's certain things where I'm like, this I've seen as a commonality when you really get to have something powerful, and I don't always see the discussion. So I want to create that discussion for all of us. So we're going to do a webinar. It's going to be, I believe, later this week. So I'm going to set the date and get back to all of you on it. But it's going to be called Having It, and it's like the bridge and the things that really happen between the desire and knowing the purpose, manifesting it, and then like literally experiencing it, anchoring it. And when you anchor it and you really have it is when you can actually be in service to the world and to this mission that you're on, and really have fun. So yeah, the first thing to understand is on this bridge, you're absolutely going to feel like an imposter, like you don't belong, or like, how are you allowed to have this? So the thing to understand is to know that, and then to make sure you're around community that reminds you that's what's happening. Because sometimes you're so in it that you can't remind yourself. Like, you can't remind yourself because you're the person that's also, it's hard to play the two roles at the same time. So you want to make sure you're plugged into people who know your purpose, who you've discussed your desires, who are clear on like what you're trying to be and do and have and share and be in service to in this planet. And they're your partners in this. They remind you of who you are when you forget. They remind you of what you've done and why you're here when you forget. And if you can make sure that you're around people where you really, they're up to big things. Like, you want to just put yourself in positions to connect with people who are up to big things, who are here to be soul innovators, who are here to serve the planet, who want more and have more and do more and want to be more. Like, then when those people reflect to you, hey, remember, like, this is what you're really doing. Thank you, I'm having what you're having. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're around people, hi Britta, who are saying, who you can say, I want to have what you're having, and then they're reflecting back to you like, yeah, this is what you're here to do, you belong here. There's a really powerful transcendence that happens, and you allow yourself to go to the next level. And the final thing I'm going to say is sometimes, and then maybe let's do a little energy because it's right before the equinox, you know? The final thing, physical beings that understand my insight. Well, that's the part that you're in control of, is first of all, like, realizing, okay, and so we'll just go to that question really quick. Like, who am I hanging out with now? Because you are a product, and we've all heard this, of like the 5 people you hang out with the most. So it's like, what events and things am I hanging out at? Like, what thing am I afraid to deal with? For me, I didn't want to confront, you know, this is just for me, but for me, it's like, I didn't want to look at like money and business for a really long time because I was ashamed for trying at the beginning of my career, and I just kind of agreed with the sentiment that I guess I wasn't supposed to understand those things, and I'm not good at math and all that type of shit. I needed to go to those communities. I needed to plug into people who were willing to figure out and heal those things to be able to do it myself. So you just figure out, like, what are the communities, like. And now for me at this level, it's like I need to be around people who have like really figured it out, you know, like where there's no, and then realize how the same things are still going on and everyone still needs each other and and everyone can add value. So you need to understand, like, what aspect of me and my mission do I try to shield myself from really understanding, and like go to those places, go to those events, go to those groups, join those sort of programs, join those sort of masterminds. Like, that's why I have Really You Rising, which is my kind of mentorship and mastermind for light workers who are ready to activate themselves into power, authority, and leadership, because that is what the planet needs right now. And so we need to come in together and be around other people who are doing it and wanting it and being it. And then when you find that moment where you think, never mind, I'm the broke hippie that snuck in, then these people, because that's where I am right now, like, these are people where I would have been extremely like uncomfortable, or like I just would have never allowed myself to even be in these sort of situations a few years ago. So it's like, that's where I need to go, is when I know the sort of impact I want to be having this year, I need to go to the people that have that sort of impact already on this world, and I need to admit that I feel like the broke hippie that snuck in, and I need them to reflect to me, here's actually how you're showing up to us. And then I can leave here and go do what I'm here to do in the world. So that's the sort of thing you need to do, is you need to understand this is part of the process, and then you need to make sure you're around people that are living it with you and are really up to big things and are reflecting back to you. Remember, this is the whole imposter thing that happens to the president of any country, that happens to the biggest celebrity in the world. Like, this is a natural experience. And so we're going to do this really cool clearing right now. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we got a minute. We're going to do a really cool clearing because I did this clearing for myself while I was here. I opened the Akashic Records. And what I found is that part of the energy that was making me feel like out of place or insecure or not sure of myself in certain experiences that, like, I must have at this moment, there's events and people and things I must connect to for the greater mission that I'm part of, and it's just like time to like stop making it a whole thing, right? And so I realized there's energies that were living within me that were from a previous part of my life that needed to be cleared because they were always going to feel out of place and weird in this chapter because they weren't meant to be part of this chapter. So there's energies that are within me that are always going to feel weird and out of place, even though I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, because there are energies that are from a previous chapter in my life. Does that make sense? So we're just going to do a quick clearing, a quick healing. Hey, what's up, Nora? So that as we come into the equinox, this spring equinox, hey, Angela, what's up? As we come into this really powerful time on the planet where there's a lot of action, a lot of movement starting to happen as we all adjust to what happened in the first couple months of this year, we can clear and release as we come into the spring any old energies that will make you feel like an imposter or like unsure of yourself, because they're not from this time that you're in, so they can't see the progress you've made. Like some of these energies that want to be like, yeah, I'm a broke hippie, like they're not seeing how my life changed. They're not part of this chapter. They're a reverberation from another time where I hadn't made the progress and done the work and invested in myself the way I have and like had the breakthroughs I've had. So they're always going to feel like we snuck in. You know, part of it is an imposter syndrome, and part of it, I realized when I worked with the Akasha yesterday, is actually energy that's still in your field that literally cannot see how much has changed in your life. So let's just do a little something here with that. So we're going to take some breaths here, and we're going to breathe in the space and possibility to have this experience together. And let's just take give us like 10 breaths here. So as you breathe in here, just breathe in the possibility that what I'm saying could actually be completely relevant and resonant to you, and your soul is just waiting for this moment to clear some of these energies. Let's just take a few breaths here. Just breathing in the space for the possibility of that. Exhaling out. And as you even just breathe in the space for that possibility, there's just some energy that's going to begin to release here. So let's take like 5 more breaths. And as you're ready, very gently putting your hands on your heart. And I'm just calling in all the guides, guardians, and teachers that work with us and are part of the Akashic record of this experience. And I'm asking to call upon the soul lineage of everyone who's watching this live or recorded, and just letting them open the Akashic record of what they're really here to do. What they're really here to do. And if, maybe I'll tell you about this later, but just first let your heart tell you. If someone, I will tell you, this is one of the practices we did. Like if you were to write a eulogy for yourself, which is actually a very powerful experience to do, or if someone were to read your eulogy, like what is it? Like what would you really be known for? What is your heart telling you you're really here? What would your legacy be? So just feel that in your heart beginning to swirl, beautiful bright golden light beginning to open in your heart, and just let yourself really plug into what you're really here to offer, why you were born at this time, why you've experienced what you've experienced. And when we're here to really do our great work and we plug into that, a mentorship is always necessary. So for each new level, there will be a new guide. So know that, and if you're open to it, know there will be a physical human mentor or guide that's coming in for each person that's watching this. They will come into your life if they haven't already. And as you breathe in now, there's also an energetic guide from the realm that is behind you now. And just let yourself breathe in this image, or even allow yourself to feel it subtly, of just the hands of this guide on your shoulders, saying, I see you. I remember you. I understand you. I see why you're here. And just let yourself, for the next 5 breaths, breathe in the experience of being plugged into your heart, to your true legacy, and feeling the energy of that mentorship and that guidance of one who already understands who you are, of one who can see that potential and hold it in front of you until you're willing to stop pretending you snuck in. And let's take 5 breaths here, breathing in that image, that energy, that frequency. Exhaling out. Feeling it build in the heart. 4 more breaths here. Exhaling out. Now as you're really locked in, you're really deeply in your heart, you feel the support of both the spiritual mentor, energetic mentor, and the physical mentors that will be coming into your life if they haven't already. And actually what I'm hearing to say is, even if they have already, there's just more, there's more. At each level there's more. I'm having that. New mentorships that are new mentors, new people that can really bring me in that bridge to having it. And so just feel that happening for you. And as you stay really locked into that, just notice in the body where there's some energy, a sensation, you're just brought there. Maybe you see a color, an image, where there's some old energy that is a reverberation. We're just going to open the Akashic record of any previous timeline, dimension, or personality, ancestral code or relationship or cord that is connected to not being able to see the progress that has happened, not being able to see the possibility that is here, not being able to see the opportunity and the timing that is now for you to be what you truly are. And so just feel, we've opened that, and just, I'm feeling it in the lower belly, but just like let yourself do a little quick scan here and just like, where is that energy that is never going to let you get out of imposter syndrome, because it literally can't see what has happened in your life. And what has happened in your life, if you're watching this, is amazing and miraculous and important and true. It is true what has happened. It is true the progress that has taken place. It is true that this is your time to rise. And so just staying locked into your heart and staying connected to this mentorship energy, as you exhale out, just say goodbye, and we just clear and release now all timelines, personalities, dimensions, cords, codes, relationships, old stories that will never be able to see the truth of what is now. And we bless them, and we ask this to be released with grace and compassion for that part of us, that story, that connection isn't wrong, it's just from another time. And so we have compassion, and so we are our own best friend in this moment. 10 breaths here, just know the energy is happening, just let it release. And now just putting your hands, hey Lindsay and Stacy, just putting your hands back at your heart and just letting beautiful cleansing energy of water, and actually there's an ocean behind us. So you can just picture that this water, and a golf course, which was pretty sweet, on the backyard. You can just picture that this water is just cleansing and clearing you, releasing you. Just letting yourself feel refreshed. I'm going to definitely recommend you drink some water, actually, because we just did a pretty big clearing, considering this is a Facebook Live, but that's how we do it. And so you're going to want to drink some water here and just feel yourself feeling refreshed and cleared and cleansed. Feeling that sink out of your toes. Calling in the energy of this spring equinox, or whatever equinox if you're on the other side of the world, autumn. Just feeling yourself rebirthed and renewed. Just knowing that in this moment, oh, you're welcome, Gina. And just knowing in this moment, like, you belong here. Just breathe in that sentence. You belong here. whatever it is you're desiring, whatever it is you're knowing you're here to do, whatever it is you really would love to have. In many ways, you're already there, first of all. And I'm here to remind you, you belong there, you belong here, you belong on your purpose. You belong being taken care of. You belong speaking the truth. That's what the world needs. The world needs you right now. This is the time of the soul innovator. So you belong here. Hey Nicole, what's up? So that's it. Let's share some comments. I wanted to just be vulnerable and be real, because it's like this is how it feels when you're really in your purpose, you know? And this is how it feels when you make the big moves that are intense. And it's actually been 9 months for me since I left Chicago, and it was really intense. I had a very comfortable, stable, connected life there, and I've been on this, journey and for 9 months of kind of being the new kid on the block and being in these new opportunities and new circles where I'm like, did I sneak in somehow? And how did I get to have this life? How do I get to be here and be understood, And I've had to just realize, like yesterday or whenever I got to this, I was like getting off the train and I'm just like, my life is so crazy. I'm just always traveling and doing all these crazy things by myself and showing up things a lot myself, just because, I'm like doing things by myself more and traveling and making moves. And I just had God really speak to me and just be like, yeah, this is an adventure. Isn't it amazing what you've figured out how to do even in the last 9 months? So if you've been feeling alone or, oh my God, what am I doing? This is the adventure. Can you believe it? This is an incredible adventure, and you belong here. And there are no mistakes. There are not. You belong here. And as I said, one of the key things for me that is always what I'm investing in is being in the opportunities and the energies in the community that can see what's possible. And so I do that with career, but I also do it with spirituality, and definitely do it with relationship and intimacy. That's a big piece I've been working on in the last 6 months, 7 months. So it's like, if you haven't already done that, that's one of the big keys. I'm going to be doing the webinar later this week so we can really talk about that bridge between manifesting it and literally having it, because many of us are manifesting it and we just don't let ourselves have the experience. And Real You Rising is my own mentorship to offer this sort of opportunity and experience and breakthrough. And I watch the women in this do absolutely incredible things. It's so badass. So we'll talk more about that on the webinar. We'll continue to talk more about it because we have 3 new spots available in the group. And we'll be doing a retreat later this spring. So if you have any questions about that, I'll do a link in here. You can just set up a time to do a consultation with me, and we'll look at the energy and we'll look at what you're really here to do. And again, you belong here. So happy spring. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for just being here and being a reflection and an inspiration and a muse to me, as you all are. All right. Lots of love, and we'll talk soon.